back to the second episode of the 75 build. So we've got our Toyota Land Cruiser. You would have seen in last episode, we stripped it all down. So we took off the doors, the front bull bar, the snorkel was out, and then we fixed a whole bunch of rust. So the floor, that all got fixed. Basically a brand new floor on the driver's side. The passenger side, we had a bunch of rust that we fixed. The sill, that was all rusted out, so we completely changed that. And then basically we got it to a stage where it was ready for paint. And that's what this episode, which I'm pretty excited about, we're actually getting some colour on the car. Now, it was white. Now, we had a bit of a debate, really, between myself and Dad as to what colour it would go. And we have chosen the classic Toyota Land Cruiser sandy colour. So we are doing a full respray, and not a closed door respray either. So because we've taken everything off, we've actually gone ahead, we're going to take the time, even the engine bay, we're going to fully change that. So every aspect of this car, when you look at it, will no longer be white.
Now it's the fun part. We get to put some colour on. We're going a sandy taupe, which is the classical Land Cruiser colour. Look at that. That's going to be gorgeous. It's not just tip of colour into a spray gun and bang, you're finished. There's so many processes you've got to go through to get the top-notch job. We've decided to go with the Glazerite COB, which is a base coat, and then you put your clear coat on top. It gives us a top-notch, clear, just shiny colour. It's going to look unbelievable. The benchmark in paints is Glazerite. It's a German product. They say it's the best. Supplied by our friends at Prestige Paints.
And by the end of this episode, the HZJ75, our Toyota Land Cruiser, is going to look completely different. I'm excited for it. Let's go. Few things for the roof and the sides of the car that we're going to paint. So all we're doing is we put the guide coat down, and then we've got the block, and we've got here 240, and then we'll rub it with 240, get rid of the guide coat, then we'll guide coat it again, and we'll go to like 4 something. And then once that's all done, we'll mask up the car, put it in the booth, and then it'll be ready for paint. Doing all of this just takes so long. Better get to it.
Lock it up, get it nice and straight, get all the scratches out of it. Any little imperfections, see that there? Alright.
Can't really see it on camera.
Can't see it, it's an imperfection. We give it a block.
Happy days.
Gone.
So we've got the roof turret, that's what Dad's working on now. And then I just finished blocking with, well, rubbing with 400 a couple of the other panels that are going to get painted tonight. One step closer.
We're sealing up all the gaps. We got the sticker first, we got the 529 AT, that goes in all the seams, stops any water ingressing into the seams. So a little bit and you force it in. Then you wipe off the excess. Just like that.
Okay, so we've got the center grille stay, we've got a couple of air vents here. They also need to be painted, so whilst we're doing everything else, these are kind of the little things. We've got 400, we're gonna whack them with a bit of 400, and then they too will go in the booth, ready to put some nice paint on. That is so hot. The underside of the bonnet is all done. So Ricky got that done for us. Looks good. And now in there, we've put the car, we're gonna start to mask it up. It's all happening. 75 is in the booth, so you'll probably notice there's only 2 panels that we're actually painting in here, and that's the 2 guards, because everything else we did as a separate paint in the booth. And then we've got things like the doors are currently off, the bonnet is off, a couple other bits and pieces, and they're being painted separately. Let's go mix the paint and get some paint on these guards.
What we've done is we've put edge primer, or we call it a wet on wet. So that goes down first. It covers any tiny little scratches that your 400 sandpaper may have missed. The first rub back was with 240. That's a block. Then we go to 400, and then it's in the booth now, and we've just put on a wet coat. That's a dark grey colour, and it gives a good base for your sandy talk. We've got a pan spray booth. They're made in Italy. They're pretty much the benchmark of spray booths at the moment. So he'll be spraying his base coat. It goes into an oven. It gets sprayed at 30 degrees, and that's temperature controlled. After he does that, he'll do a flash off, which means that he'll crank the booth up to 60 for about 10 minutes. That dries the base coat. After that, then he'll go in with his clear coat, and then he'll spray your clear coat. It's a medium solid. So we have a high solid, a medium solid. So I've gone for the medium solid because I don't spray all the time, and I'm used to that, and so that's what I'm spraying. The boys here, they use a high solid. They're much better than I am. You've got to use a hardener. That's why I call it a 2-pack. 2-pack. 1 clear, 1 hardener, and then you thin it. Your 2-pack is 2 to 1 and 10% thinners. We use a gun similar to that. Well, actually, we'll be using that gun. So that's your debilers.
The wet and dry that we were speaking about already done, and because the wet and dry is done, that's now fully dry, and now we've put on some actual colour. It's going to look brand new. And flat. It's just on a flash off cycle now, so it's drying. The next stage, he'll mix up the 2-pack clear, medium solid, and then we'll get in here and paint it. In the next exciting episode of JRC Adventures, the 75 is being put back together. You're not going to want to miss that, so make sure you like and subscribe. Appreciate all of the support. See you next time.